Hello everyone, my name is Remus, and today I'm going to introduce you guys the Inuit and the changes to their life. So first I want to talk about the contents. There are 5 topics in my content. So first I want to talk about the motivation of this presentation. And second, I want to talk about the overview of Inuit. And third, I want to introduce you guys to their history. And then I want to talk about the culture, and the most important thing is changes to Inuit's life. So my motivation for this presentation is quite easy and simple, because there are a lot of people often misunderstood the Inuit and Eskimo. So I will basically explain it briefly. So Inuit and Eskimo means the same thing, but Eskimo means people who eat raw meat. So that is a very negative description of the Inuit people. And so it is a discriminated word, and we should all call them Inuit instead. And second, I want to talk about their impact by technology. And we all know technology and climate plays a big role in Inuit people's life, so I want to talk about that. And third, I want to talk about the stereotype about Inuit. So most people think Inuit are very primal, conservative, or very rustic, but that's often not the true. Some Inuit people can also steer a boat, so it's not like that. And last but not least, I want to talk about their enriched history. So now let's have a very good understanding of Inuit. So first, they are indigenous people lived in Arctic regions, and those regions cross across Canada, Greenland, Denmark, and United States. And their total population is 148,863. Their main language is their Inuit language, which is their local dialects, I suppose, and they can also speak English as well. And most of their religion is Inuit religion, which is also their native religion, but some of them also believe in Christianity. So next, I want to talk about their pre-contact history. So you may wonder the word pre-contact. So it basically means the times that they haven't been found by the Europeans. So Inuits are basically the descendants of Tuol people, and they first emerged from western Alaska around 1000 CE. So we can see Inuit people really have a very, very long history, but those history are often unrecorded, so we don't know much about it. So Inuit first settled in Greenland during 1200 CE, and the Tuol people extend about 1400 CE. So on the other hand, the Inuit just take the place of Tuol. And later I'm going to talk about their post-contact history, which means when the European first found them. So in 1549, Inuits have their first contact with European, and in 1820, there is a British scholar who is the first people to start to record the life of Inuit. And in 1950, Canada government started to expose Inuit people. They enforce a lot of regulation to control their people, and I don't want to talk too much about that part. And in 1982, the Inuit finally got recognized by Canada's constitution, and they become Canadian Aboriginal people. So Inuit people have a very weird culture. That is, if they have a guest in their house today, and their wife must live with the guest for one night, Although it may sound very weird for us to know, but Inuit tradition is that because they live in Arctic, so it is very cold for them to give birth. To give birth is not easy for them, so they really trust their friend to have baby with their own wife, as long as they can have the baby. And also they have a very high rate of adoption because it's really hard for them to live by themselves, so let alone having a kid. So if you adopt their kid, which means he or she will have a better life, so they are very welcome of you adopting their baby. And they also have a festival of hunting polar bears and whales. These are their main source of food. And the traditional of Inuit people is that they also eat raw meat, well, that is gradually gone by now. And you may wonder, they live in Arctic, it's so cold, and how do they warm themselves up? So basically they wear those animal skin that they hunt, and they also build igloos for home, those ice house if you want to call that. So you may think it is very cold to live in igloos, but Inuit people always set a fire in the igloos, so it's actually very warm inside. And last but not least, I want to talk the most important part of this presentation, which is changes to Inuit's life. So Inuit's life has changed dramatically because of 5 main reasons. The first being the invention of airplane, and the second is the introduction of healthcare and school offered by Canada government. And the third is the most important thing, which is global warming and sea ice melting. So with global warming or sea level rising, Inuits have a harder time to build their home or to hunt their food because a lot of ice melts into water, so they have to find a new habitat to live. So more and more Inuits nowadays choose to live in a modern life. And now let's watch a video about global warming talked by Inuit people.
I want you to listen to the cracking sound. I can see the ice is like a wave, moving like a wave. If they become too big, it'll begin to break the ice. Then the ice will just snap.
In these last years, to be a hunter has become very hard. The old hunting grounds, like where they used to hunt, we cannot reach them anymore. They are just history now.
I think there will still be ice while I'm alive, but everything is changing.
This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.